This is the U.S. Bank Cougar Coaches Show on the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield. U.S. Bank. Life keeps moving. We're here for every step. U.S. Bank. Member FDIC. Tonight's show is also brought to you by Zappos, the home for the Cougar Coaches Show, where the Palouse comes to play and eat. Live from Zappos alongside Cougar head coach Nick Rolovich, here's the voice of the Cougars, Matt Chazanow.
It is great to be with you. We are back here live. It is football season. It is game week. And Utah State comes here into town to start things off in 2021. We'll have fans at Giesa Field. Can't wait to see everybody. It's great to see people here at Zappos, and it's great to be joined here remotely here with Coach Rolovich. Coach Rolo, how have the guys been bouncing around through this fall camp? And what's the pulse of the team as they're getting set and prepared here, locked in for the Aggies?
Well, I think it was a very successful fall camp, not only in the schemes and techniques. I think the growth of the team together, and probably had to do with the difficulty of last year and them, unifying on one mission here. I think it really crystallized it. I mean, there's not a lot of outliers as far as people who aren't on the same page for the mission. And I just, you hear the band, you see more people on campus, and you can tell our guys that's one thing they missed. Obviously they miss football, but they enjoy playing in front of the crowd here. And that was one of the things, especially the older guys, that was something that they didn't want to go out without doing that. I'm excited to see it myself, but it must be pretty special because that was a common theme in most of the older guys, decision to come back.
Yeah, I was thinking about that for the guys who got here last year for the first time, right? Like Jalen Watson, Shaw Smith-Wade, guys who still to date don't know what it's like as a player, even in practice time right now in fall camp, right. The buzz on campus and the energy, just walking to Rogers or into Martin Stadium and Giesa Field, just to feel that with students around, the energy is palpably different.
Yes. I didn't even think about that, but you're right. It's probably something we need to bring up in team meeting for those guys that haven't seen it. Maybe get some description for the guys that's been around here for a while and how special it can be. That's a good hotel meeting idea, Chaz. I appreciate it.
Oh, honored to contribute. Happy to contribute. Hey, and I want to roll through some of the progressions on defense, on offense, and big picture though. Last year, from what fans saw, especially back end, we've talked ad nauseum about the back half of that Utah game, and tell me and tell fans how much.
I didn't talk about that ad nauseum. That was awful.
Well, we could maybe we're already at ad nauseum just by bringing it up. But to what degree did you get a chance to install your vision, the run and shoot, Jake Dickert and his defense, the plan for what Cougar football could and should be to keep good going after 5 straight bowl games and now trying to go to a 6th year this year with that abbreviated year in between? I mean, what do we take away? What do we glean from whatever last year was from what happened on the field?
Well, we took the lessons. Obviously, there wasn't a ton in as far as complete defense and offensive plans. We tried to get in what we anticipated being good at and being able to put some product on the field and give the kids a chance to play and be successful. But there were times where you wish you had other things in and you wish you had more reps. You wish you had a little bit tighter, not necessarily relationships, but kind of that sixth sense and connection between guys. I think we've definitely come a long way. I try to tell the guys on offense, I say, go take a peek at the first few practices of last year's fall camp or whatever we called it, and look at what you're doing now. And it's I don't want to say it's night and day, but there's a big noticeable difference. And the bigger difference, I believe, is in our mentality. I felt like if we got punched last year, we kind of curled up and didn't fight back. And you speak about the Utah game, there was a lot of opportunities where, we didn't show up in the battle in the second half. And you don't want to be known as a front running team. You want to be a team that no matter what the scoreboard says, no matter what the situation in the game is, you're playing at that elite level of effort, attention to detail, commitment to one another. I think we've made more improvement in those areas that excites me about watching this team play.
You alluded to the chemistry and some of the unspoken language that can be passed along through body language and through things that seem to be extra important in the run and shoot. I've heard you reference the way the quarterback, the offensive line, and then the four receivers and the running back, the way the whole unit moves is maybe more so than in other schemes dependent on unspoken communication and understanding of how everybody's reading the defense. And maybe that in particular was hindered even more so than normal from what was going on last year.
Well, it just wasn't, but it didn't have the opportunity to develop, and that's no fault of the kids. It was what it was. And I think you're right. It's really obvious when you kind of dive into the quarterback receiver relationship, and it doesn't happen every play, but there are times where you see a receiver hesitate or his body language is a little bit different, and that's not what the quarterback's thinking. But one thing, this receiver group, a tremendous growth in the unselfish and buy-in into that aspect of the offense. I think there's good communicators. Travell is a good communicator. Donovan Ollie, just the way he talks is, you just know that he's bought in. He's asking questions that make sense. You can tell that they're elevating their knowledge, and which only comes with an extreme commitment to the offense. So that buy-in's been wonderful, and Coach Dre with that group, I think, has done a great job. Getting Calvin healthy and going has been a plus. Lincoln Victor was a tremendous addition from a mentality standpoint and from a conviction standpoint of running the offense before at Hawaii. And I think he helped either create that buy-in or really solidify it. He's also a good communicator, and but back to your question, there is an unspoken language. You can tell when a receiver's running something or going to sit it down or going to run an in cut, or how they're going to run their corner route. And a lot of it is in the details of stems and depth and technique of the DB. So it was really enjoyable, and again, probably because of the how borderline miserable last season was trying to get it installed, and with all the other distractions, to see them invest and work on the details and buy into the truths that are part of this offense. And if you want to be great at it, those things have to be developed, and it comes from a mindset of the players, mostly, in my opinion.
Lincoln Victor, the practices, once classes started, for folks who don't know, early morning practices, a 7 a.m. start, maybe a little bit before that, and then go to about 9:30. Lincoln Victor has his coffee, Coach, in the morning. He eats his Wheaties and he drinks a cup of coffee. I think that guy might lead the offense in energy. Is that fair to say Lincoln Victor does?
Well, he's definitely up there, and it's a consistency of it. It's not one day he's doing it, one day he's not. And you look for guys that love football, no matter what time we practice. Guys look forward to it. I hope the players and I think the staff has enjoyed the morning practices. You wake up and get to do, what you love. They've bought into that, and I think it's been a nice change for them. But you're right. I don't know if he drinks coffee or not, but he definitely loves football. And I think that was coming at mid-year, that was a benefit of an infusion of energy and like I said, conviction of being in the offense before.
Yeah, he's not only is he familiar with the offense, he's a Washingtonian, so he was with you. He's in Hawaii now. He comes back, and And we're talking about Lincoln Victor right now because he's had great practices and he's had great energy, but he's got a lot of depth in those inside receiver positions. And we were all heartbroken when Renard Bell went down with his injury, and we want him the speediest of recoveries. But Calvin Jackson Jr. moves inside, and now you've got Calvin Jackson Jr., you've got Joey Hobart, you've got Lincoln Victor, and you have Travell Harris, and you've got four really good-looking targets for whoever is throwing the football once we get to Saturday.
Yeah, I agree with you. And there's a nice there's no jealousy. There's a pushing of each other. There's a learning from each other. And it's good because they all have a little bit of different style, which can come in handy. If we get into a little bit of a monotonous state, you can switch it up and just show the defense a little something different. But I think Travell and Calvin will get the majority of those reps.
Before we take a break and we're talking about wide receivers, let's go to the outside edges. We mentioned those four on the inside there, but like you said, probably Travell and Calvin Jackson Jr. You've got Donovan Ollie. You have C.J. Moore. You have Dejon Stribling, and then a name that Coug fans probably don't know, and that's Anderson Grover, who's a JUCO transfer, who's a 6'1", 190-pound receiver, a redshirt sophomore, I believe. He's looked really good at times in practice also. So those are kind of the four on the outside edges split up somehow.
Mitchell Quinn, too.
And Mitchell Quinn, yeah.
Mitchell Quinn has done a really nice job being dependable. You talked about Grover, excellent hands. Kind of a crafty route runner, and bringing him on was kind of due to Renard's injury, and then moving Calvin inside. He's definitely been a positive addition to the team. Committed to learning it and works hard. So and I think he'll have a role on special teams too because he's a good body type. So, but Donovan's probably the most improved. The commitment he's put in, and he's seen production from it. So just a kid, I don't know because he's still young. I don't know what his career ends up, but I know it's a positive. It's a good thing for his life, for just the effort he put in to get better and buy in and be part of this. And I'm glad he's going to be out there Saturday at the Z receiver.
He's leaned out. He's listed 209. I don't know exactly how his composition's changed weight from last year to this year and body fat percentage and all those things in the specifics, but he looks good. He looks quicker. He looks lighter, doesn't he, Donovan Ollie?
I would agree. And I think that's part of his success right now. So, just having him believe and trust in our advice, and then him seeing success, that's one of those things where makes coaching really fulfilling when you see a young man, and you don't make him do it. You just try to tell him this is what we think, and he's so great to be around, and I'm happy for him.
Love it. We're going to take a break, and then we're loaded up with write-in questions here from folks at Zeppos. Okay. We've got a bunch of good ones on hand. We'll take a break. We're talking football here with Coach Rolo as we get set for the Utah State Aggies, the opener coming up Saturday night.
Our goals aren't as out of reach as we once thought because things are coming back. And if there's anything we've learned, it's that there's no time like the present. At U.S. Bank, we take the time to understand you, to help you get to where you really want to be by getting to the root of any financial obstacle so you can move forward. Because side by side, there's no telling how far you'll go. U.S. Bank, we'll get there together. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Hey, Coug fans! Can't decide what to do with your late-night weekends? Why not Cosmic Bowling? Every Friday and Saturday night from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. is Cosmic Bowling at Zeppos. At a price designed with everyone in mind, we are your destination for music, disco lights, and of course, bowling. Can't join us on the weekends? Zeppos is the place to be for all ages every day of the week. With bowling, food, and drink specials, we offer prices that won't break the budget. You can even reserve your lane in advance with online reservations at Zeppos.com. When looking for fun in Pullman, look no further than Zeppos.
This is the U.S. Bank Cougar Coaches Show on the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield. Time to bring the claws back out.
He is stood up and stopped. It's a goal line stand. To the end zone, and is intercepted. George Hicks back in the end zone.
Nick Rolovich and the Cougs open up the season this Saturday at home against Utah State.
Left side of the field, perfect spiral.
Kickoff is at 8.
Over the shoulder, touchdown. Travell Harris.
It's all on your home for Cougar football. The Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
That to-do list you have needs one more thing. Chill. It's an easy thing to do. Just crack open an ice-cold Coors Light and chill. Take the afternoon off and binge watch anything. Go to happy hour and stay for a couple hours. Who's counting anyways? Or hang out with just your dog, because you've had enough human interaction this week. Whatever you do it with a Coors Light. Mountain Cold Refreshment made to chill. 2020 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
This is the U.S. Bank Cougar Coaches Show.
Somersaults in. Football first touchdown.
U.S. Bank. Put your trust in a bank that's been focused on serving the people and businesses in Washington and all across the country since 1863. That's U.S. Bank. Equal housing lender, member FDIC. Live from Zeppo's with Coach Rolovich. Here's Matt Chazanow.
Back at it here with Coach Rolo as we're talking ball here, and we've got some write-in questions. Great to be back here with everybody and talking with Coach Rolovich here. All right, Coach, we've got some write-in questions for you, some football, some not, and some folks are braced for all kinds of things here. And this one's anonymous, and it has T in it. And I personally am on a Ted Lasso kick, so I'm going to start with this one, and we're gonna relate it back to that. Coach, I'm a college sophomore. A boy just asked me out to tea, but I have a boyfriend. How do I say no thank you without hurting his feelings? By the way, somebody is cringing right now here at Zeppo's. Just cringing, crimson-faced.
Just be honest, and maybe say my boyfriend drinks black coffee. I don't think I can make it.
It's a good answer. That's a good answer. I think you've gotten a real affirmative response from that. Many people outside North America claim football is the hardest sport to understand, and you would have NFL Europe perspective on this. What's really the most confusing sport, you think?
I guess I don't know much about cricket. I kind of like that throwing motion, and I don't know if it's, that's a tough game with the bounce and everything.
Doesn't it take It takes like 4 days to get through I think it's like a 4-day event.
Then that's the only reason why it's the most confusing right there.
Yeah.
It takes 4 days.
I think it's a thing. It's like a whole long weekend event. But I don't really know about.
What if we had 4-day football games?
Sounds great. Actually,
it would be a blast.
Yeah, that would. Let's see here. Next question. Oh, someone just goes right for it, Coach. They're putting you on the spot, and Aggie. Those who are listening from the Logan, Utah perspective are anxious to know who is the starting QB for Saturday. You do not have to answer that, but don't kill the messenger on that. But I'm relaying what is written.
That's okay. That's a fair question, but we're not telling the Aggies that right now.
All right, so we'll hold off on that till probably a little bit after coin toss. How about that?
There you go.
That'll work. Okay, Michael wants to know. Michael with Washington State Publishing. Great to see Michael back here at Zeppo's. While printing up the roster cards today, and he prints up the roster cards for us.
Cool.
Does a great job.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Michael. Notice there's no tight ends on the roster. Are all the speedy receivers buying in on blocking for what I assume will be many passes to the running backs, or in general, are the little guys taking on some of the blocking responsibility there in the slot? How does that work?
Yes, they are. It's not a huge role that they play, but they are very willing when it is their time to do that. I think a lot of that comes also from the unselfishness, but they have a lot of love for Max and Dion, and Nakia, and they see how hard they work, and they respect what the O-line does, and they don't mind contributing to success with other guys. Travell, very willing. Joey Hobart, very willing. And it's not something we ask a ton of them to do, but they haven't turned it down, and I think they understand that's part of their role as a wide receiver. Also, it's part of the game. So
no one has seen Nakia yet, and Nakia Watson is a transfer from Wisconsin. Started 4 games for the Badgers, played about 20 games for the Badgers, and boy, coach, 6 feet, 227 pounds, a Texas kid. He looks really good here.
Yeah, he does. He does. Another great addition in anticipation of, not having Max or Dion next year. He's been more than a pleasant surprise as an athlete, as a fit in the offense, but also as a person. I think he's going to have a strong role in special teams. It gets a little tough when when you're that deep at running back in a 10 personnel deal, but I think he's earned everyone's trust, and we would not flinch if Nakia had to play in a football game, and I hope he does get to play and have a bunch of carries.
He's had some really good scrimmage moments on those Saturday scrimmages. Next question, not that he necessarily needs it, but what advice would you give to Gardner in Philadelphia? He was just traded to the Eagles.
Keep living like a Coug. It's gotten you this far. He's I'm sure he's a wonderful addition to locker rooms. There's stuff you can't put numbers on, and he seems like that type of guy. I know he's all about football, but is also able to use his personality. I think he has good timing is what he has, as far as he seems witty, seems like he has some spontaneous moments, creative mind, that can rally a locker room. So I've only talked to him a few times and we stay in touch a little bit, but he seems like a guy that you want to be around and you would play for. And it's a tough gig where he's at. Everyone's gunning for you, but he's got a determination, from his just his college's experience and making a huge impact on this place. I think don't change, keep doing what you're doing, and you're always welcome to come back and see us whenever you get done with the season.
It's fun that he's there in Philadelphia now with Andre Dillard on that left side of the line. So there's a whole Coug connection. Actually, on the baseball side, Coach, there's a lefty who was here before you got here, a guy named Damon Jones, really good lefty arm. He's with the Phillies. So there's a whole Coug Philadelphia thing going on there.
Yeah. Get a little
brotherly love.
Coug Village up in Philly.
Yeah. Last question written in here. What are the 3 non-football question here? Although you could relate it to football if you wanted to. What are the 3 must-visit cities in the U.S.? Pullman excluded.
Pullman excluded.
Yeah.
I like New Orleans.
Yep. And thoughts out to New Orleans also with all the hurricane going through. That's right. Really terrible. I hope they're okay. Let's see.
I guess Las Vegas, if you haven't seen it, right?
Yeah.
See that one time.
Would love to get back there with the new stadium, ASAP, for the Pac title game. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
There.
And I guess you'd probably say New York. Just the history of it, but. Yeah, there's some good cities, good parts of America, and there's a lot more that I want to see. So,
all right, let's do this. Those are it for the write-ins. Our director of athletics, Pat Chun, has just walked in. We're going to take a break. We're going to circle back. We're talking ball here with Nick Rolovich as we get ourselves a game week. It's football season. We've got Utah State coming in Saturday night. We'll take a break. We'll come right back.
Don't miss the chilling story of terror based on real-life events. The Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It. Now available at Redbox. The newest installment in the Conjuring universe finds paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren fighting for the soul of an 8-year-old boy. The demonic twists and turns of the story take them beyond anything they'd ever seen before. The first time in U.S. history that a murder suspect would claim demonic possession as a defense. Watch The Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It, and make it a Redbox night. Visit redbox.com for all the ways to watch.
I don't know about you, but after the past year and a half, I'm ready to get out and let loose in the real world with real people. That's where Northern Quest comes in. You can hit it big in the casino, grab a bite on the new patio at Epic, shop at Windfall, or just relieve some stress at La Rive Spa. Either way, it's time to make up for lost fun. Only at Northern Quest, summer 2021.
Cougar football.
Rolling right with the ball. Going to throw the long ball down the middle. Man open. Watch the end zone. Leaping grab. Touchdown. And the Palouse is going to pop.
Cougar football from Learfield.
If you use natural gas, you recognize its blue flame. But natural gas is actually invisible and odorless. That's why Avista adds a rotten egg scent, in case there's ever a leak. If you smell natural gas at home, get outside fast. Don't flip switches or do anything to cause a spark. Go somewhere safe. Call 911. Then Avista. We'll take care of the problem and tell you when it's okay to return. Till then, it's a good excuse to visit the neighbors. Avista. We just want you to be safe.
Spokane International Airport is a proud sponsor of Washington State University Athletics. The airport connects Cougar fans and alums to major centers throughout the West with over 60 daily departures to 21 nonstop destinations served by Alaska, Allegiant, American, Delta, Frontier, Southwest, and United Airlines. Real-time arrival and departure flight information is available at www.spokaneairports.net. Spokane International Airport, when it's time to fly.
This is the U.S. Bank Cougar Coaches Show on the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
Runs into a massive Crimson, does not get the yard. It's a goal line stand.
Live from Zeppos, here's the voice of the Cougars, Matt Chazanow.
Back here live at Zeppos, we're talking ball here with Coach Rolovich. We'll have our Director of Athletics, Pat Chun, on live with us in just a moment. It's time now for the Coors Light opponent preview. Coors Light, mountain cold refreshment made to chill. 2021 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly. All right, Coach, let's talk a little bit Aggies here.
Golden, Colorado is a good city.
Yeah, delicious city. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It just flows in the streets, apparently.
I've been there.
There's just Coors Light everywhere in Golden, Colorado. Utah State Aggies come in. New head coach for Utah State. How about this? The last 4 years, Utah State has had a different OC, DC, and special teams coordinator all 4 years, every year. Just 4 straight years, constant turnover. This year it is Anthony Tucker is the OC, and the DC is Ephraim Banda, and the head coach is Blake Anderson, and he comes from Arkansas State. Ephraim Banda comes from Miami, the Hurricanes, and Anthony Tucker comes from UCF. So they've all come together here. And Coach, what do you make of this Aggies team? Let's talk Utah State a little bit.
Good coaching staff, and like you just mentioned, DC's coming from Miami. With under Manny Diaz, who has been a good DC, great DC, did a lot of kind of trend-setting things, and continues to be, a good defensive coach and good head coach. I don't know that I've had much interaction with Blake. I've admired him from afar. How he's dealt with not only his team and winning football games, but he seems to have some real resiliency to him, and has I think seems to be a good person. At least people I know that worked with him respect the heck out of him. So, and he's won enough football games where you got to respect him. And and then you got some of the stuff they did at Ark State and some of the stuff they did at UCF, and piecing that together. It does make for a little uncertainty when you get into the game, but we have to have sound rules and play hard and handle the tempo and see what the plan is defensively against us, and their special teams are they're tricky. They're not, I wouldn't say unconventional, but they're not scared, and they'll make you think. So keep you on your toes. So I think he's assembled a good coaching staff, filled, some of his roster with some transfers that got a second opportunity at their college career. So you got to anticipate all those things are going to bring a team that's well coached and play.
When you look at Utah State, if you're doing the kind of cursory glance, you see a lot of returners, 9 starters on each side of the ball, which is pretty common for this year with the super seniors and what's going on.
Right.
But when you look at that special teams, a consensus All-American from 2018 Savon Scarver has 6 career kick return touchdowns. That's one away from the historical record ever in the history of college football. That's how good this guy is at returning kickoffs. So is one of the game plan has got to be telling Andrew Boyle to get that big leg through that ball, kick it out of the crim zone. Is that right?
Well, that'd be fine too. And then, he's not scared to take it out.
Right.
I mean, he's had enough success where he can make something happen with the ball in his hands. So, we have to be great on kickoff team and get him down. But there's no doubt he's a talented player. Coach Collins did a great job over there with special teams, and I'm sure that was a real exciting piece to the puzzle for the new coaching staff is how do we get him more involved, maybe in offense, but definitely how can he have such an impact as he's had on special teams, and it's definitely something we're aware of.
Coach, thank you so much for the time. We've got ourselves kickoff finally. You must be chomping at the bit. So excited to get kicked off Saturday. Yeah. Thank you so much. We're going to take a break. We'll come back with our Director of Athletics, Pat John. Thanks, Coach. Thanks so much.
You guys enjoy those fries.
Yeah, we'll do it. They're the best. They're the good ones. That's Coach Rolovich. We'll take a break. Come back. We'll come out live with our Director of Athletics, Pat John, here from Zeppos.
We at Boeing are excited to celebrate with the fans and community at the annual Boeing Apple Cup Series. Get ready to experience the sights and sounds of a classic rivalry in person again. So whether you're cheering for the Huskies or the Cougars, Boeing sees the whole state of Washington as one united team because we go further together. Boeing, proud to sponsor the Boeing Apple Cup Series and support our employees across Washington.
This Cougar football tailgating moment is brought to you by Canoe Ridge Vineyards, proud partner of Washington State University Athletics. For this week's football matchup against Utah State, smart Cougar tailgaters know to pair award-winning Canoe Ridge wines with a crowd-pleasing pregame meal. Your mealtime roster will score big points with Canoe Ridge wines backing it up. Canoe Ridge Vineyards, representing the best of award-winning Washington wines with more than 73 critical scores of 90-plus points. Come visit us in our Walla Walla tasting room or at CanoeRidgeVineyard.com. Go Cougs!
Cougar football lives here.
Up the middle, touchdown! 1 second left. Cougars on top.
On the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
Business as usual is a thing of the past, but the entrepreneurial spirit keeps us closing in on our dream. That's why U.S. Bank makes sure solutions are a conversation away, so we can help you adapt and evolve your business, no matter what comes up. Because even in uncertainty, you can be certain we have your back. U.S. Bank. We'll get there together. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Hey, Coug fans! Can't decide what to do with your late-night weekends? Why not Cosmic Bowling? Every Friday and Saturday night from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. is Cosmic Bowling at Zeppos. At a price designed with everyone in mind, we are your destination for music, disco lights, and of course, bowling. Can't join us on the weekends? Zeppos is the place to be for all ages every day of the week. With bowling, food, and drink specials, we offer prices that won't break the budget. You can even reserve your lane in advance with online reservations at Zeppos.com. When looking for fun in Pullman, look no further than Zeppos.
Interact with the show. Tweet your questions for Coach to Matt Chazanow using the handle @M_Chaz. That's M_CHAZ. Live from Zeppos with Coach Rolovich. Here's Matt Chazanow.
Back here live, we are at Game Week. Finally, we're here. It is Game Week. We've got Utah State coming up Saturday night. It's an 8 o'clock kick live, 6 o'clock. With Derek Dice and the whole crew, and really pleased to be joined by our Director of Athletics, Pat John. Thanks for working for us here with a headset on.
Hey, have you told the radio guests the new addition?
No, we need to talk about this.
Let me hug this.
First, yeah. So we have a trophy, the Boeing Apple Cup Series trophy here on the desk. Absolutely, and that is for a Coug Husky all-sport competition, which the Cougs won last year, and. Don't bite into these apples. These are very authentic.
Ask Brian Green how much he was sweating this because it came down to him.
Was that right?
The weight of Washington State was on his shoulders.
Well, he took care of business there.
He did.
That went really well. He was really excited about that series and got the Cougs a winning record.
Yeah, and if anything, this symbolizes the grit of Washington State student athletes because to get through this last year and pull that thing home. And we're going to make a permanent place for that and another trophy, and we're going to keep stacking. Yep, we're going to keep stacking them this year.
Yeah, we could. That'd be a fun accoutrement.
Absolutely,
right there,
absolutely.
right next to it. So there's so much going on. I mean, has there ever been more going on in college sports? There's NIL. There's a convention about a constitution. New PAC commissioner.
Deregulation of transfers. We got a new commissioner.
The alliance.
Yeah.
I mean,
if one of those things was going on, it'd be big. Yeah. But there's a lot
transformational.
Going on.
I mean, college sports will change forever because of what, the next 12 months?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that fair to say?
Yeah, well, 12 months and beyond. I mean, this Constitution, they're looking to make substantive changes before January, so we'll see where it ends up.
That's really soon. That's this football season.
Yeah.
So let's take a step back.
Yeah.
You're on a committee, a nationwide committee, doing what? Meeting with whom? Talking about what? What's going on here?
Well, it's so the NCAA. I was appointed our Pac-12 rep. So, which is obviously, I think, a reflection of Kirk Schultz, Washington State, and where we are nationally. Former Secretary of Defense Robert Gates is chairing it. He makes it clear before every meeting he has a bias toward Washington State. His wife is a Coug, and his son is a Coug. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
So we're gonna We're gonna work to get them to games.
Oh, that's phenomenal.
Yeah, and you can't really screw around when the former head of CIA is leading this. But there's a lot of robust dialogue. I think we're at a pretty unique place in the Power Five. I think the alliance is pretty telling about what our league was able to do with the Big Ten and the ACC in a very short period of time, which is a testament to our new commissioner to get that done. But we'll see where this thing goes. We have a pretty aggressive timeline. We've been meeting weekly. I'm fortunate. We got a great staff here at Washington State that knows how important this work is to not only Washington State Pac-12, but for all of our student athletes. And when any of us are doing national stuff, it's all hands on deck. So we'll get to the right place. But it's an honor to represent Washington State and the Pac-12 on this committee.
George Kliavkov is the new commissioner of the PAC. He was here not long ago. He has a student at Whitman in Walla Walla, I believe. He's going to be in the region. How is he? You met him. What's your interaction with the new commissioner?
Well, he was here last week.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a big week for him. The most important thing he did was come to Pullman. The second thing was announce the alliance.
Yeah,
so that's how important. That's how important it was in the whole scheme of things. And his son plays for a former Coug.
He does?
Yeah, one of Tony Bennett's student managers.
Is that right?
So he said he's close with Tony. He's a UVA grad.
How about that?
And Tony said this is where you need to go end up and play.
I love that.
Yeah, so
That's
it's small
know
world.
That.
Yeah, but it kind of tells you a lot about George because you are who you hang out with, and if he hangs out with Tony Bennett, that's good in our world.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, so but he's just a wonderful person. He cares about Pac-12 student athletes. He's been a quick study. I think he brings a really unique set of skills to this position, and President Schultz was on that hiring committee. There you go, Washington State again, making a national difference, and we'll see. I mean, I think we're all united because we know it's at stake. For Washington State's future, the Pac-12 has to be healthy and thriving. We recognize that, and we know we're 1/12 of that, and we're in a unique time because of President Schultz. We have a pretty big voice at the table now, so we're going to make sure we maximize it. But George has done everything awesome to date, and I think we're all excited where this alliance heads up and where we end up going. And in the Pac-12, I think one of the most interesting conversations we had. He sat with the two student athlete groups, one with our student athlete advisory committee and the head of our BSAA, we're our student athlete leaders. And then he sat one with the football. And our guys talked about, we talk about in the Pac-12, we got to put our best team forward. And we all were here 2 years ago. It's 2018. We're playing night on the road in Colorado, night in Arizona, and all that is wear and tear on your tires. And our guys, I remember talking to the conference office saying, it shouldn't matter that Fox saves money if they do a game in L.A. We're the team that's in the top 10, and those are things George knows. Hey, as we go forward, if you got a team in the hunt, we were there a couple years ago, you got to give them the best kickoff times, one for exposure, but two for wear and tear on your student athletes. So that's the type of, it was nice to hear Liam Ryan tell him that. It's like, hey, that is how you help put us all forward.
Yeah, I always wondered the player perspective on that, the degree of awareness. Now Liam's been around a long time. Yeah. He's a smart guy. He's an experienced guy, but the players get it. They get it, don't they? They have the perspective, maybe some more than others.
Yeah, for all of us that have been around, and I'm really excited for this weekend. It's awesome to see Pullman back, alive. But in the history of sport, the greatest thing you could ever have on any team is leadership, and we have it in droves on that football team. I mean, even George walked out here saying this may be the most mature group I've talked to all year.
Wow.
And you just go right down the list of guys that have, and you can see it in the summertime. You can see what they're doing in the classroom. You can see it in the player behavior. And, it's going to, we will see the character of this football team for 12 games. And I think Cougs all over will be proud when it's all said and done.
And you've got guys like Jihad Woods, Liam Ryan, Abe Lucas, who's
Travell.
quiet about
We have college graduates.
Right.
We have guys in grad school. I mean,
Right.
think about it. I mean, we have guys that do the right thing all the time, that eat, sleep, breathe Washington State, take so much pride in wearing that logo, play for their brothers, and understand that, hey, we got a pretty special group here this year, and we've set some big goals this year. And I would not bet against this football team any form or fashion.
What about the perspective of a guy like Jalen Watson, too, who was out of school, who was working at Wendy's with his mom. His mom's the GM of a Wendy's, and he figures out the academic side and does actually some really impressive academic work to get himself, and he's a great talent. And you've got, and that's not a true freshman.
No.
that's a man.
He's and you study us. I mean, there's going to be, I think, all 12 games, no matter who we're playing, you could argue 2 of the 5 most talented players on the field are going to be Cougs. And Jalen's going to be one of them. Our right tackle is probably going to be the other one. And that's not even talking about Max, Travell. You go right down the list of all the guys. So it's that type of talent. I know we got to put our best foot forward. We got a huge one here Saturday night. But I think everyone's going to be pleased when it's all said and done.
All right, love it. We've got a couple more breaks to hit. We need to do it. Need something to smile about? Try taking home your share of millions in jackpots at Northern Quest. That'll do it every time. Northern Quest, now playing, now paying. We're going to keep putting you to work here. Back into the show.
Good.
All right, we're here with our Director of Athletics, Pat Chun, live at Zeppo's, talking ball, getting set for Utah State.
Don't miss the chilling story of terror based on real-life events. The Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It, now available at Redbox. The newest installment in the Conjuring universe finds paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren fighting for the soul of an 8-year-old boy. The demonic twists and turns of the story take them beyond anything they'd ever seen before. The first time in U.S. history that a murder suspect would claim demonic possession as a defense. Watch The Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It, and make it a Redbox night. Visit redbox.com for all the ways to watch.
Spokane International Airport is a proud sponsor of Washington State University Athletics. The airport connects Cougar fans and alums to 21 nonstop destinations provided by 7 major airlines. Nonstop service is available to Atlanta, Boise, Chicago, Dallas, Denver, Everett, Las Vegas, Los Angeles, Minneapolis, Oakland, Orange County, Phoenix, Portland, Sacramento, Salt Lake City, San Diego, San Francisco, San Jose, and Seattle. And starting November 22nd, Phoenix Mesa. For real-time flight arrival and departure information, go to SpokaneAirports.net.
You're listening to Cougar Football on the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield. The biggest schools.
Grabs in traffic, comes down with it. Touchdown! Touchdown, Alabama! Ohio State. Oregon. LSU.
The biggest moments.
Incomplete! You cannot hit the line! Michigan! Game over! Touchdown, Gators! How much?
This is the College Football Rewind.
That had to be a great game to watch. I'll tell you, unbelievable.
Download on Sunday mornings on Apple Podcasts. Search College Sports now.
It's a new season. Get ready for more men's and women's college sports excellence. Trophies will be awarded in June to schools who take the top spot in the 2021-22 Learfield Directors Cup. The premier award recognizes one winning institution in all competitive divisions. Follow your favorite team's progress as seasonal standings are announced at L Directors Cup on Twitter and online at directorscup.org. The crowning achievement in college athletics.
Back at it here live with our Director of Athletics, Pat Chun. It is great to be with you. It's game week. Finally, it is game week. We are talking ball here, getting set for Utah State. And
hey, what season is this for you?
This is my 7th.
7th season.
Proud of it, and it's been just amazing.
Okay.
Yeah. How about that? 7 years.
Yeah, that's awesome.
2015. I have never not bowled in a full season of Cougar football. Yeah, I feel.
Neither have I.
Yeah. Name, image, and likeness.
Yes.
How has that affected? I mean, we've seen some really crazy numbers from players around the country. Georgia Tech announced something today where I glazed over the headline. A company did the whole team.
Yeah,
BYU's done wild things. What's this like now for the Cougs? What's this like for the country?
Well, we look at it through two lenses. One, we want our we're advocates. We want our student athletes to maximize their name, image, and likeness. They have every right to. We have some really creative student athletes that are doing a really good job. On the flip side, you're a little bit worried because some people will take advantage of this, and you're worried where this is going to go. And the NCAA is in a unique time right now where they're not regulating this. So the rules as they're written basically are how you interpret them on your campus.
Wild West.
So that's the worry. I know, Washington State in a different position again because of Senator Cantwell and her role in the Senate, and then I know President Schultz and I met with Kathy McMorris Rogers just about NIL a month ago.
Okay.
So we're in a unique spot here where we're talking with the right people in the federal government. We do need help as an industry, which is not the best place to be when you're asking the federal government for help with this, but it's where we're at. Our student athletes have done a great job. We have a pretty unique setup at our place. We actually have a full-time person working with it. We've partnered with the Carson College to develop a one-credit course, which I think is probably one of the best in the country when it's all said and done. Definitely one of the first of its kind. And Marie Mays has been awesome in terms of how she's managed that class and the people she's brought in. So we feel great about how we've educated our student athletes. That's the biggest responsibility we have. But it's we'll see where this thing goes.
Feels like we look back in time, and you were alluding to, be it NCAA or federal legislation or something where they say, boy, that was an odd gap in legislation where Washington was doing something different than Alabama or New Jersey or Connecticut, and then eventually it sort of finds its way to one common point.
Well, it's funny what hindsight does. Me and some of our senior staff were meeting today, and we're talking about last year. This time last year we would have paused. We might have started workouts again.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's just weird what happens in hindsight,
Yeah.
And where we're at and how we got there.
I still can't believe the Cal game. I don't want to. I hate to bring it up, but
that
it even happened.
Yeah.
You're in
I think the Cal game is really what when you speed up to what Saturday night means to everybody here.
Yeah.
Everybody that's been on campus in Pullman, and I know we got a lot of people coming to our town back home this weekend. But for all of us, that have been here and see how quiet this place got, it is no fun watching our student athletes perform with a bunch of cardboard cutouts.
No.
Although I appreciate everyone in here that got a cardboard cutout.
Loved them.
Yeah, it was
but
good
great
to see
have
guys.
you back.
Yeah.
Right.
So when you think about where we're at with Cal, where you stop a game 2 hours before kickoff, we're like, is this a joke?
Yeah.
And then having to tell the guys. So now it's like, all right, it's Saturday. Our students have been coming out in droves for
soccer.
Yeah.
Soccer's had record attendance.
The energy has been incredible, and I think our students are tired of it.
Yeah.
They've been sitting at home. They want to go engage. They want to scream. They want to yell. They want to have fun. You come to a school like Washington State because you want to be a part of big-time athletic programs, and we're not ashamed to admit it. We need their help at games. Our Cougs make a difference, and that's why we have such a home field advantage. That's why part of the reason why teams hate coming up here to play. And man, to sit here all day and wait, and then all of a sudden get this thunderous roar on you come Saturday night. We need it to help us win.
Game changer. I can't wait.
I can't wait. The energy is going to be awesome.
It's going to be great.
Yeah.
All right, we got to take a break. We're up against it. We are live here with our Director of Athletics, Pat Chun. We're talking football here, getting set for the Utah State Aggies coming in to the Palouse. Coming up.
You may be eager to break ground on a new outdoor project, but never just start digging. Buried electric and natural gas lines can be anywhere. It's the law to call 811 at least 2 business days before you dig. Spray paint white lines showing your dig zone, and a crew will mark the utility lines. Mark accuracy zone is within 2 feet of the mark, so always hand dig to expose the line first. Call 811 before you dig. The service is free for residential customers. Avista. We just want you to be safe.
That to-do list you have needs one more thing. Chill. It's an easy thing to do. Just crack open an ice-cold Coors Light and chill. Take the afternoon off and binge watch anything. Go to happy hour and stay for a couple hours. Who's counting anyways? Or hang out with just your dog, because you've had enough human interaction this week. Whatever you do it with a Coors Light. Mountain cold refreshment made to chill. 2020 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
You're listening to the U.S. Bank Cougar Coaches Show on the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
This Cougar football tailgating moment is brought to you by Canoe Ridge Vineyards, proud partner of Washington State University Athletics. For this week's football matchup against Utah State, smart Cougar tailgaters know to pair award-winning Canoe Ridge wines with a crowd-pleasing pregame meal. Your mealtime roster will score big points with Canoe Ridge wines backing it up. Canoe Ridge Vineyards, representing the best of award-winning Washington wines with more than 73 critical scores of 90-plus points. Come visit us in our Walla Walla tasting room or at canoeridgevineyard.com. Go Cougs!
We at Boeing are excited to celebrate with the fans and community at the annual Boeing Apple Cup Series. Get ready to experience the sights and sounds of a classic rivalry in person again. So whether you're cheering for the Huskies or the Cougars, Boeing sees the whole state of Washington as one united team because we go further together. Boeing, proud to sponsor the Boeing Apple Cup Series and support our employees across Washington.
Back here live with our Director of Athletics, Pat Chun, as we get set for the football game against Utah State. Haven't been able to say that for too long. The game against Utah State. There has been, this is crazy, there's been one home game since the 54-53 win over the Beavers.
One home game.
One home game.
Wow.
Since that game.
Wow.
Against the Ducks.
Wow.
That was it.
And this is going to be a heck of a year.
Big year.
Top to bottom.
Big year.
I'm telling everyone, get your tickets for everything.
Utah State,
Yeah.
Portland State, USC to start, at Utah at Cal, Oregon State, Stanford, BYU, home. By the way, we play the state of Utah.
Yeah.
The whole state.
Oh, that's true.
We go
That's right.
BYU,
Yep.
Utah State, and Utah.
Yeah.
At Tempe, at Eugene, home for the Tucson Wildcats, and then in Seattle for the trophy deal. Yeah.
And soccer's going to do soccer. Volleyball's going to be volleyball. Basketball's going to roll.
Yeah.
Baseball's going to. I mean, this is going to be one of those years.
Yeah.
This is what we've all been building up to, and it's. I mean, the work all our men and women are putting in right now. This will be one of those years.
We could go. You got another 3 hours? We could go basketball. we could do a little hoops if you want to. Do a little baseball.
Let's save that.
All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. Hey, Utah State coming in. You know, the Mountain West connections here are actually more deep. They're deeper.
They?
Yeah, you'd be surprised. So they're middle linebackers from Pasco.
Okay.
Led them in tackles last year. Chihuahua High School.
And he's supposed to be pretty good.
Good player.
Yeah.
50 tackles in 6 games last year.
Yeah.
Was a he didn't get any huge offers, but he's played really well here for Utah State. Our offensive line coach, Mark Weber, was at Utah State for 3 years. Of course, Coach Rolovich and the whole staff, everybody knows Utah State really well.
Most importantly, they're an ag school. We're an ag school.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of commonality.
Well, it's funny you say that.
Yeah.
I was talking today about what Logan is like. By the way, hometown of Luke Falk, a record holder for the Pack for the Cougs, and there are all these Logan Pullman connections. I've never been there.
I've never been there either.
I have heard it is now they're nothing like Pullman.
Yeah.
There's nothing like the Palouse, but as similar as it might be. You know, Logan's kind of that similar feel. Utah State, Washington State. It's kind of a fun game. It's a little more connected than I think you would have expected.
Yeah.
Than I would have expected
Yeah.
as I'm doing the prep
Luke
here.
Falk is a good enough connection.
That's all you need.
That's all you need.
That's all you need. I am told that the rumors are that one Luke Falk will be back here for some games.
Okay.
And I'm really excited.
Well, he's one of those guys that the more he's around, that's good for us.
Oh, there's not a better guy, and there's not anybody with just he was just a machine.
Yeah.
I mean, he was so good. He worked so hard at it.
Yeah. I mean, that's what you see now. We got so many young people in our athletic department that just make us all better.
Yeah.
You know, and then when you get those people around, like Pullman and Washington State and our student athletes, I mean, it's almost indescribable when you just walk around and you see all these young people that they show up and they make us all better because they're so talented. They're putting in the work, and they're so, gifted in what they do.
So you were in Columbus, Ohio for a long time. I'm bombarded by Ohio State imagery right now because they're on television as we speak. You were at FAU. You've seen a lot of different football teams.
Yeah.
The practice this week, fair to say, has improved from the start of fall camp. I mean, this team has gotten better as we're leading up to kickoff here. I don't think there's any doubt about it.
Yeah, and really it started in January. So when you look at the progression of a team and you hear in the summertime and get reports, I only went out to practice a little bit this week, but you hear anecdotally from everyone around the building. But these are all the things that you want to hear about with a mature football team. Our league is tough. we recognize it. And we're not a team good enough to think about next week.
Right.
I'm probably one that's already thinking about down the road, but that's why I'm not good enough to wear the helmet.
Don't do that.
Yeah, but that's why it's awesome to have this great leadership on this team. There are just top to bottom. They're just guys you love on this football team, and that's going to win the day for Washington State.
I'm so excited to finally get kicked off. It's so overdue.
I know, we need it.
It
still feels like a year away to me.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, 48 hours. Who knows what can happen in 48 hours? Right.
It's been
Who
one
knows?
of those years.
Yeah, for real. And this is a hard pivot, but and we need more time to talk about it.
Yeah.
But this alliance, I don't know if everybody. I couldn't be more enthusiastic about what this means for the Cougs, the Pack. I mean, we're talking about scheduling situations where you have a Big Ten team coming to Pullman, and then Cougs go to an ACC school.
Yeah.
2 great games in non-conference. I mean, you can negotiate together, you can set rules together. There's a stability. It's a big deal.
Well, let me temper expectations.
Well, I don't want
no,
to
because
temper
I had to do it with Kyle Smith because he's like, that means Duke and Carolina are coming to Pullman.
Right.
And I said, well, let's hold off on that.
Right.
And I said, I actually told Cammie, Kyle, and Nick the same thing.
Yeah.
Because everyone's fired up about this. I was like, all right, remember this, because if we're playing at Miami and we got to take an overnighter back, don't be mad at me.
Right.
Yeah. So, but it is
true.
the possibilities are really left to how these 3 leagues can be creative with scheduling. But when you think about what, for us to get an ACC or a Big Ten team here every year really is awesome for Washington State and really changes the platform. And that's the type of content that I know TV drills at. And, we're going to keep building. At the end of the day, I think we have proven time and time again, we know how hard it is to sustain winning in every sport.
Yeah.
But I think we've proven we know what the DNA is that we need to keep here at Washington State, and we'll keep doing it. And we'll be ready, for this alliance and everything that goes with it.
Phenomenal, Pat. Thank you for this time.
I know, season 7.
Season 7.
That's when we're going to have.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, Pullman's fired up.
Love
we're
it.
all fired up.
All fired up.
I can't wait till
all
Saturday.
Fired up. Great.
Yeah.
Thanks for everybody here at Zeppos. It's great to see you.
Oh my gosh! Thank God we're in Zeppos again.
We're at Zeppos
Yeah.
again. We got Jerry Kylo getting us on the air. Huge thanks, Jared Brengoover behind the camera, and we've got ourselves a 6 p.m. airtime and 8 p.m. kick. Thanks, Pat. Go Cougs.
Go Cougs. Thank you, guys.
That